Tuesday, August 22nd, 7:38 a.m. coming at you from Maui, Hawaii. And we are in the sixth line of our current transit, which the sun is in gate 29, which is abysmal perseverance. That's going to be in the sacral center. And then gate 30 is where the earth is. That's the clinging fire, that's feeling, and that's in the solar plexus, that's in the emotional center. So take a moment right now and go look at your chart. And if you don't have a chart, you can just find it via the link in my bio. It's free. See if you have gate 29. Again, that's going to be in the sacral. That's this, like right in the middle, second to the bottom. And then just to the right of that is the solar plexus. That is going to be gate 30. And we're in the sixth line of both of these gates, meaning we're almost complete with this transit, which this one has been a really emotional one. This one has been really like intense for me personally. And that's because gate 29 is the abysmal perseverance. And ultimately, we're building up to this sixth line, which is the line of the role model. And again, as transits go, this is kind of like energetic weather. If you don't have this defined in your chart, it means that you're going to be experiencing the flavor of this transit, but it's not necessarily changing who you are. So you don't make decisions based off this transit. You use this transit to further distinguish your decision-making process, which again is your strategy and authority. So line 6 of gate 29 is confusion. It's the state that exists when momentum outstrips awareness. The exaltation of this is driving blind and given Mars's energy and determination, often blind luck, which is the power to persevere that makes no sense. The detriment of this is the tendency in confusion to withdraw rather than accept the condition and to continue to persevere. It's the power in confusion to caution rather than saying yes. So this whole 29th gate is really about it's really about being able to follow the full body yes, right? And understanding too that this gate is just a fragment of a channel, which is a fragment of an entire circuitry within our body systems and our energy systems. Understanding that the 29 is I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just got to do it. I know I got to do it. And the exaltation of that today is the power to persevere that makes no sense. The sacral does not want to explain itself, and I don't even believe that it can really explain itself, right? Have you guys ever tried to explain a gut response? Like, why do you like that? It's like, I like it. That's what I want that, right? That's what 29 is. Or like, why do you not like that? Oh, like, why do you keep pushing that away? And 29 could also be that same like, Although 29 is more so about the yes as opposed to the no blocking energy. 29 is the like, tuck in, in skaters, they put their hands behind their back and they're like, I'm going to bomb this hill. Like, why are you doing that? Well, it's probably because they got 28 in the spleen. But anyway, the sixth line being the role model, there's a journey of maturity with the he said you can explain Violet, explain. But you with this sixth line, again, what we're looking at is the energy of the role model, which is, ultimately the person that has like been there, done that, and now is serving as a role model for other people to follow. So one thing that may come into your frame of mind during this transit is, the people you admire who just say yes, right? For the people that are saying yes to life, they're saying yes to themselves. And understand that, like, the beauty of an open center, and I have all open centers, right? Is that with an open center, I can really appreciate something in other people that I don't have. And it's not flavored with this, oh, I wish I were this way or I wish I were that way. It's just this pure like, oh man, I recognize that's not something that is that's not something that I naturally do. And so I'm able to appreciate it rather than the jealousy. There's compersion, and most of the time you hear that in like polyamorous communities, which jealousy is like the feeling of missing out, and compersion is the joy that somebody else is experiencing something that you're not. And typically people use that to justify like having multiple partners, but in this sense, what I'm talking about is skills and acknowledging that there are people that are different than me. There are people who have this gate 29. I do not have this gate 29 in my body graph, and I love that. I do feel like the perseverance, the desire to persevere, that is going to evaporate come like 4 a.m. tomorrow Maui time, and that's when we're going to shift transits. And so what's cool about these transits is, that we can use them to ultimately further distinguish ourselves within the context of a world that's constantly trying to program us against the way that we've already been programmed, because human design naturally tells us that when we come into the world, that's an important time. We're breaking through that threshold, taking our first breath of air. We are having our the first light of the day shine upon us. There's a lot of firsts for us, and that's how you come in is really important, which is also 88 days before your birth is also in a very important date, in the sense that that creates a cross within the Rave calendar, which then gives us our incarnation cross. So that is gate 29. Next, we're going into, next we have gate 30, which is in the solar plexus. And this is going to be the clinging fire, feelings, freedom recognized as an illusion, and limitation accepted as fate. So line 6 is enforcement, which is the discipline to maintain right action. In exaltation, we have the assertiveness to purge the inferior while accepting to lead the weak, which is the strength to eliminate negative feelings. And as a detriment, we have an inherent peacefulness all too often will abide in the presence of inferior forces, a lack of strength in eliminating negative forces. So here we're talking about elimination of negative forces and the comfortability as a detriment, which through the comfort doesn't want to stir up the nest, doesn't want to confront the detrimental emotions. And now this is one where, there is no good or bad, but there is, what is best for you, right? And for a lot of people, they're carrying emotions that are over 18 months old. And as we know from neuroscience, 18 months is kind of a sweet spot. A year and a half is a sweet spot for acknowledging that something is in the past now and it's no longer going to affect me. So for instance, if you have something that happened to you over 18 months ago and it's still affecting your day-to-day life, like it still sends you into fight or flight, then that's something that is, according to gate 30 in line 6, that's something that could probably be eliminated. And eliminating negative emotions, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. It really starts with allowing yourself to feel the negative emotion. But the reason why you want to feel the negative emotion is because what you want is to feel it in the context of your current situation. So what happens is our brain has this top-down processing, right? Like, this is our paradigm. This is what we believe happens. This is what we have decided what we expect is going to happen. And then we have bottom-up processing, which is this is what's actually happening. This is the what we're picking up with our senses, what we're absorbing with our ears, what we're hearing, what we're seeing, what we're tasting, what we're touching. So senses going up that can reprogram all this, and then this top-down processing, which is our paradigm, which is the matrix that we build for our self, or the story that we tell for ourselves. So the key with this dynamic is to allow the reality to program the matrix. Okay, allow the reality to update the story, so that way you're not living in a in a like a make-believe world in your head, because you're not paying attention to your reality. So this is the book that I'm reading from. It's called The Definitive Book of Human Design, The Science of Differentiation. This is the OG book. So if you've been feeling tension in your sacral, if you've been feeling any extra feelings, especially feelings around like limitations and freedom and that whole bit, it's because we're in that current transit. It's like energetic weather that for children being born right now, this is the thing that programs them to be a certain way, the same way that when you were born, that there was some programming neutrinos The sun was in one of these 64 gates, the earth was in the opposing gate, and then it's that's what, you know, informs your cells what to do. And that the beauty of it is, like, now that we have human design, we can take the guesswork out of a lot of it. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to still experiment and explore and learn as you go. But in terms of asking yourself, like, for instance, why do I not have the full body yes to stuff? Even though I want to do that, why do I not have that full body yes? This is actually something that I've asked myself in my earlier years. And now that we're looking at this gate and realizing I don't have this gate defined nowhere near in my sacral, and then the sacral itself is undefined, I'm like, oh, that's why I don't get the full body yes. That's why sometimes it's challenging for me to go after the thing that I want, because I don't necessarily have this definition in here. So yo, asking about mountains. Mountains is, and one thing I love about human design too, because it's very literal. You know, it's very literal. It's like if it says mountains, it's like your ideal environment is mountain. You're supposed to be high up where the oxygen is thinner, where you have a strategical advantage, where people have to travel up to get to you. Elevation, uh, the types of trees and flora and fauna that are up in the mountains are more conducive for your type. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to live there, right? It just means that um, it's a place for you to go to either relax or activate, depending on your circuitry. Letty says, I can't live in my head. Well, that's the thing, is like we do live in our head, right? But you don't want the head to drive. That's the thing, is a lot of people live from this top down processing, and they suppress the bottom up processing. They suppress their senses. They attempt to how you say, manipulate others so that the other people fit into their top down processing, rather than accepting that these two things are supposed to work in tandem. And if you have one of them that's offline, like you don't think about stuff, you're not reflecting, or you're not being present for what sensations are actually happening and what reality is actually happening, well, that's delusion and that's insanity. So what we're looking to do with the transits here again is just allow ourselves to experience the entire spectrum of humanity without necessarily being locked into something that we're not naturally locked into stuff, because we are naturally locked into certain definitions, just like all of life is naturally locked into certain manifestations. However, in that locked in energy, we're still experiencing everything that's going on around us. And so it's important to know the qualities of, oh, okay, this week has been very sacral, very like persevere, yes, energy, but I can't really explain why. And it also has been very emotional, very much so accepting that, oh, there are limitations to my freedom, and oh, I have some illusions about my freedom. And so again, just learning, just having that as a context to be like, oh, okay, so what do I do now? Where am I going to go to for guidance? And again, we all have a strategy and authority that we can go to for guidance. So all I have is head and ajna. What am I supposed to do? So Dana, you've got the mental authority, which is environmental authority, which means for you is very similar to a reflector. Your environment heavily impacts you. Ultimately, what you're looking for is an environment that acknowledges all your openness, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to change the people that are around you so much as you might probably have to change your environment, right? This isn't about changing anybody, especially changing ourselves. This is about uh, putting ourselves in situations and environments that are conducive to our circuitry. So I've been pulled to distancing myself, but lonely, and also wanting to get into painting. So, I mean, go get into painting, you know? Could you explain more that my 44 and spleen is connected to 26 heart are both circled? So that's the channel of surrender. That's ultimately 44 is this alertness that allows you to how you say, pick up what is useful and what talents are necessary. Oh, hi, little bug. And then the 26 in the heart is the desire to be the best. So together, it's like you can create really good products because they serve a purpose to keep people healthy. But you also want to be aware of like what you're getting in the exchange of it. So yeah, that's the transits. I don't want to jump too much into explaining things. If you guys want to learn more here in TikTok, you can go on my website. You can get a report. You can get a reading, and then also you can also join my Discord, which is just like my badass little family. They're all like sitting here watching me talk to you guys. It's kind of funny. It's like a little fishbowl. But so I do a show here on Discord every day, or mostly every day, called I do a show here called Tea in Transit, which is what I'm allowing you guys into on now. And it's basically I talk about what I've been talking about. So I will probably go live at some point. Dude, do eat. The Discord is next level. Thank you. I'm doing good today. So yeah, if you have questions, I do come on TikTok every now and then to answer questions, and we're actually doing a question and answer. Actually, thank you guys. So me and Prana are gonna go live on Wednesday. Hold on, quick. We're going live here in Discord on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just join the link in my bio has the Discord link, and then you just got to go through a couple steps, read the rules, agree to the rules, verify yourself. Don't forget to verify yourself, otherwise you won't get access to everything. But we're doing a live Q&A on Discord on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So bring all your questions, because Prana is like next level. Like, you think I know a lot about human design? This dude Prana knows a lot about human design. So he and I are there 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this Thursday. We're also going to be probably giving away a couple subscriptions to our app, Neutrino Design, which is the best app on the planet for human design. So definitely come join us. Mark it down on your calendar. There's an event page in Discord to remind everybody. And with that, TikTok, thank you guys. I love you. I'll catch you next time. Peace. And what's up, my family? What's up, my family? Man, I love that a lot of y'all probably came from TikTok, but it still is just such a different energy with TikTok. This GIF is so funny, dude. Oh my god, I love this little guy, Hezbollah. God, he's the best. Oh man, that's how I felt when Chris was doing his study session. I was just like, exactly how I felt. So anyway, we are doing our first, technically, I guess it's our first event here. So if you scroll to the top, I'm sure you guys already know this, but if you scroll to the top of our server, you can see the server guide, which has the verification channel, the rules, and the start here. Then we have the event channel, and we also have the channels and roles, which I'm always kind of like thinking about new roles, adding new roles. I guess there's a members page. Anyway, the event page is what I'm speaking about. So we're gonna have like I said, a little Q&A just for this group. And so we'll probably be doing it by way of like actually having a panel. And if you have a question, we're probably going to invite you on stage. And it can be personal questions. It doesn't have to be like general human design questions. It can be legitimate. Oh, thank you, Chris. Right there. It can be legitimate questions like, hey, I have this going on in my life and I really want to shift to this, blah blah blah. I'm going to end the recording real quick just so that they're not so long.